Hello class! Welcome back to my channel. It's Mr. Michael at narito na naman tayo para sa isa na namang video tutorial sa mga lessons ng mathematics. And for this video, ang pag-uusapan natin is all about Mathematics 7, Quarter 2, and week number 3. So ito yung lesson natin sa ating week 3 of the second quarter. So ano ba yung lesson natin sa ating week number 3? So in the process of multiplication and division of polynomials, you need to apply the laws of exponents. Remember that exponent tells how many times the base will be multiplied by itself. Any number a is raised to n, wherein a is the base and n is the exponent, 5 raised to 3 means 5 times 5 times 5, which is equivalent to 125. In x times x times x times x times x, the variable x is multiplied by itself 5 times. Hence, you can write it as x to the 5th power. Here, the base is x and the exponent is 5. So, yung ating, for this video, ang pag-usapan natin is the laws of exponent. At saan nga ba natin ina-apply or ginagamit yung laws of exponents natin. So, let us first write the given in exponential form and vice versa. Let's say, for example, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Now, in order for us to write this in exponential form, make it sure that all the bases are the same. Pag sinabi nating bases, ito yung mga factors na minumultiply natin. So, let's say, for example, itong example, number 1. So, all of them are 2. So, ibig sabihin, we can write it as exponential form na magiging ganito yung itsura niya. So, ang base natin is 2. Since pare-parehas siyang 2, then count lang natin kung ilan siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is 2 to the 6th power. So, that is the exponential form of this given. Next one is 3a times 3a times 3a. And then, I forgot, huwag niyong kakalimutang lagyan ng parenthesis yung base natin para hindi kayo malito. So the next one is 3a times 3a times 3a times 3a. So the bases are 3a. And counting the number of factors, since apat siya, that means it will be raised to the 4th power. And then negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. The base is negative 4. And then counting the number of factors, dahil 5 siya, so that will be negative 4 raised to positive 5 or raised to 5. Then, how about if we write the given in expanded form? So, kabaligtaran lang yung mangyayari. So, yung base natin is imumultiply natin by the number of its exponents. So, let's say for example, 2x raised to the 4th power. So, we're going to expand this at ang mangyayari dyan is 2x times 2x times 2x times 2x. So, magkakaroon tayo ng apat na 2x kasi ang exponent niya ay 4. As well as this one, so we have x times y times xy times xy times xy hanggang maging 7 na siya kasi 7 yung exponent natin. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is the expanded form. And this one, we have negative ab raised to the 6th power. So we have negative ab hanggang maka-anim kayo kasi ang exponent niya ay 6 and negative ab. Okay, so that is the expanded form. And that is how you write the given in exponential and in expanded form. So, bakit natin ginawa yan? Kasi napaka-importante na alam natin kung paano tayo mag-write ng given in exponential and expanded form para sa ating lesson, which is the law of exponent. So, what are the different laws of exponent na sinasabi natin? So, the first one is the product law of exponents. So what does the product law of exponents state? So any number m and integers x and y, wherein m raised to x times m raised to y is equal to m times x plus y. So in this case, the base must be the same before you can add the exponent. So one important thing in applying product law of exponent is that make it sure na yung base niya ay parehas, or ibig sabihin magkapareho, same. In this case, magkapareho yung base natin na m, kaya in-add natin yung exponent na x and y. So ano ba yung mga example? So let's say for example, we have a raised to 5 times a raised to 3. So, since parehas siya ng base, what will happen is that magiging a raised to 5 plus 3. And then the answer is a raised to 8. That is our answer using the product law of exponent. Tandaan po natin, kapag parehas lang ng base, that is the time that you can apply the product law. At kapag naman product law, i-add lang natin yung exponent. So another example is, let's say, x raised to the fourth power times x raised to the third power. So that will be x raised to the 4 plus 3 is equal to x raised to 7. That is our final answer. Another example, we have, um, let's say, b to the second power times b is equal to b 2 plus, so in this case, kung mapapansin nyo, walang nakalagay na exponent dito sa b. Then, ibig sabihin po nun, pag walang nakalagay na exponent, automatic, mayroon siyang 1 na exponent. So, automatic yan, may 1 na exponent kapag walang nakalagay. So, that will be 2 plus 1 is equal to b cubed or b to the third power. So, tandaan nyo, pag walang nakalagay na exponent, that means 1 yung kanyang exponent. So, that is the product law of exponents. So, ganun lang, parehas ng base and then add the exponent. Next one is the quotient law of exponents. So, in the quotient law, so any numbers m and integers x and y, wherein a, m raised to x divided by m raised to y is equal to m x minus y if x is greater than y. Then, b is equal to rb, yung ating second condition, m raised to x divided by m raised to y is equal to m raised to x minus y is equal to 1 if x is equal to y. And then we have m raised to x over divided by m raised to y is equal to 1 over m y minus x if x is less than y. So these are the three conditions applying the quotient law of exponent. So ang quotient law of exponent, sinasabi lang dito na isusubtract natin yung kanilang exponent. Kasi nga sa product, i-add natin. So kabaligtaran naman, kapag quotient law is, isusubtract naman natin yung kanilang mga exponent. So let's say for example, we have a to the fifth power divided by a to the second power. So what will happen is that, tandaan, so you can only apply quotient law if the bases are same. So in this case, parehas siyang a, so that will be a raised to 5 minus 2. So tandaan, pag quotient law, isa-subtract natin yung kanilang exponent, and that would be a raised to 3. So ganun lang po yun. Now we have a raised to, paritan natin, gawin natin b raised to 7 divided by b raised to 6. So same procedure, so we have b and then 7 minus 6, and in this case 7 minus 6 is 1, so hindi na natin ilalagay yung 1. Kapag 1 yung exponent, hindi na natin siya nilalagay kasi katulad kanina, pag walang nakalagay, automatic 1 na yun. And then another example is, let's say, y raised to 8 over or divided by y raised to 3. So just subtract the exponent, 8 minus 3 is equal to 5. So that would be y raised to 5. And that is the quotient law of exponents. So, ganun lang yun. Parehas ng base, subtract the exponents. Ano po? Okay? Okay, so the next law of exponent is the power of a power rule. So, it states that any numbers m and integers x and y, m raised to x times or parenthesis, raised to y is equal to m raised to x times y. So, what will happen in a power of a power rule? So, ang mangyayari dito is you just multiply the exponents of the given. So, yung nangyayari dito, yung m raised to x is naka-raise din siya sa y, kaya naging m raised to x times y. Ano po? So, ganun yung mangyayari sa power of power rule. At ganito yung magiging itsura niya. So, for example, we have a raised to 3 multiplied by, or raised to 2. So, ito yung example ng power of power rule. So, what will happen is that you're going to multiply the exponent. So, that will be a raised to 3 times 2, and the answer is a raised to 6. So, as simple as that. Ganyan yung power of power rule. Another one is b raised to 2 raised to 4. So, multiply lang natin yung kanilang exponent. That will be b raised to 2 times 4, and that would be equivalent to b raised to 8. And also, we have another example. Let's say y raised to 3 raised to 9. So, multiplying its exponents, it will be y raised to 3 times 9. That is equivalent to y raised to 27. And that is the power of a power rule. Tignan nyo lang mabuti yung power of power rule sa format niya. So, yung base, yung ating given is may exponent and then naka-raise din siya. Ano po? So, ito yung kanilang sample format ng power of power rule. So, the next one is the power of a product. Any numbers m and integers n, integers x. So, let's say m times n raised to x is equivalent to m raised to x times n raised to x. So, what will happen in this condition is that it is the same as distributive property. Yun nga lang, ang pagkaiba nila is you will distribute the exponents into the exponent of the given factors. So, yung nasa loob ng parenthesis is bibigyan nyo ng exponent or i-multiply nyo yung exponent nung nasa loob sa exponent na nasa labas. Okay? So, example. So, let's say we have a raised to 2, b raised to 3, raised to 2. So, in this case, ang mangyayari dyan is you're going to distribute the exponents and i-multiply mo siya doon sa mga exponent ng nasa loob. So, it will become a raised to 2, raised to 2, and then b raised to 3, raised to 2. So, yung mga exponent natin is dinistribute natin dun sa nasa loob. Then, applying the power of a power rule, yung ginawa natin kanina lang, i-multiply natin. So, that will be a raised to 4, b raised to 6. So, minultiply natin yung 2 times 2, and then 3 times 2. Another example is x, y raised to 5. So, as you can see in the given, wala tayong nakalagay na exponent. So, that means automatic 1 yung kanilang exponent. So, that would be x raised to 1. Lagay ko lang para makita po ninyo. I-distribute natin yung 5 dun sa dalawa. X raised to 1 raised to 5 times y raised to 1 raised to 5. So, applying the power of power rule, multiply 1 times 5. So, that would be x raised to 5 and y raised to 5. And then, we also have another example. Let's say, CD, c squared, and d cubed raised to 5. So, same procedure, bigyan lang natin ng, i-distribute natin yung exponent dun sa mga exponent na nasa loob. So, what will happen is magiging c squared raised to 5 times d cubed raised to 5. So, lahat ng nasa loob, bibigyan natin ng exponent na 5 kasi siya yung nasa labas. And multiplying the exponents, applying the power of power rule, we have c raised to 10 and d raised to 15. And that is the power of a product. Ano po? So, that is the law of exponent, na power of a product. So, ganyan lang po yan. So, almost the same siya sa power of power rule. Yun nga lang, this is applicable kapag ka more than one variable yung nasa loob ng parenthesis or yung factor natin is more than one variable. Kanina kasi isa lang yung variable na nasa loob, ngayon dalawa na. So in this case, magkakaroon tayo ng power of a product wherein i-distribute natin yung exponent na nasa labas dun sa mga exponent na nasa loob. And that is the power of a product. Next is the power of a quotient. So, any numbers m and n integers x. So, it is almost the same as the power of a product. Yun nga lang dito, ang pinagkaiba niya is, ano siya, division yung kanyang operation. So, in this case, we have m over n raised to x is equivalent to m raised to x over n raised to x. So, ganun din yung gagawin, i-distribute mo lang yung exponent na nasa labas dun sa mga exponent na nasa loob. Example. So, let's say we have a raised to 5 over b raised to 2. Ayan. So, raised to 2. Ayan. So, same procedure lang yan. Ang pinagkaiba nga lang nila, siya ay naging division. So, what will happen is, i-distribute lang din natin ulit yung 2 dun sa lahat ng exponent na nasa loob. So, what will happen is that magiging a raised to 5 raised to 2 over b raised to 2 raised to 2, and it will become a raised to 10 over b raised to 4. That is the power of a quotient. And then the next one is, example, is let's say x raised to 3 over y raised to 4 raised to 3. So, ayan, same procedure. Ganon din po yung gagawin. Distribute the exponent na nasa labas dun sa mga exponent na nasa loob. So, that would be x raised to 3 raised to 3, kasi yung nasa labas natin is 3, over y raised to 4 raised to 3. And it will result to x raised to 9 over y raised to 12. And that is our product or the answer, x raised to 9 over y raised to 12. So, tandaan nyo po baka magkabaligtad po kayo, baka ma-apply nyo dito is the product rule. So, ang product rule ay mag-a-add kayo kapag pareho yung base na i-multiply nyo. In this case kasi, hindi naman pinakita yung although parehas lang siya na ina-add yung exponent, kaya lang, much better kung i-multiply na lang natin siya. Katulad ng ginagawa natin dito. And that is the power of a quotient. The next one is the zero exponent rule. So, simple lang po itong zero exponent rule. Any numbers not equal to 0 when raised to 0 is equal to 1. Sample, x raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, sa zero exponent rule, lahat ng numbers, aside from 0, is equal, when raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, ano ba yung example niya? So, let's say, for example, we have 25 raised to 0, that is 1. Tapos, y raised to 0, that is 1. X raised to 0, that is 1. A raised to 0 is equal to 1. B raised to 0 is equal to 1. Then, C raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, any number raised to 0 is equal to 1, aside from 0. Kasi pag 0 raised to 0, this is undefined. Ano po? So, it is still undefined kapag 0, 0. Kaya nga sinasabi sa zero exponent rule, any number aside from 0, when raised to 0, is equal to 1. So, aside from this, lahat ng value pag naka-raise sa 0 ay equal to 1. So, 25, 0, kahit anong number, kahit gano'ng kalaki, basta naka-raise sa 0, ay equal to 1. Aside from this condition na 0 raised to 0, this is undefined. That is the zero exponent rule. And then the negative exponent rule is the last rule of the exponent. So, a number raised to a negative power is equal to 1 over the number raised to the positive opposite power. So, ano po yung sinasabi sa negative exponent rule? So, sa negative exponent rule, kapag naman naka-raise siya sa negative, babaligtarin lang natin yung base. Ano po? So, example. So, let's say we have x raised to negative 5. So, what will happen is that babaligtarin natin tong x, yung base. So, ang kabaligtaran niya, yung reciprocal niya is 1 over x. And then, yung exponent na negative 5, magiging positive 5. Kaya magiging 1 over x raised to 5. So, ganun lang po yun. Another one is y raised to negative 3. So, parehas lang siya. Same datin. 1 over y raised to 3. Po. So, mababaligtad lang yung y, magiging 1 over y. And then, yung kanyang exponent ay magiging positive. So, another example is, let's say, a raised to negative 4. So, same lang siya. 1 over a raised to 4. So, ganun lang po yung kanyang exponent. Pero kapag naman baliktad, halimbawa, 1 over a raised to negative 4. So, mababaligtad naman siya. Babaligtad rin natin yung 1 over a. Yung 1 over a, pag binaligtad natin is a over 1. So, magiging a na lang siya. And then, yung negative 4, magiging positive 4. So, that is the equivalent. So, another example of the same case is 1 over x raised to negative 2. So, magiging, babaligtarin natin yung 1 over x, magiging x over 1. So, that is x. And then, yung negative 2, magiging positive 2. That is the negative exponent rule. So, that is all for the laws of exponent. So, ngayon naman is, where are we going to apply that rule? So, in applying that, syempre, that will be applicable in multiplication and division of polynomials. So, in this case, sa multiplication of polynomials muna tayo. Let's say, for example, we have 2x times x plus 2. So, paano tayo magmumultiply dito? So, in multiplying this given, so, i-distribute natin to. Multiply natin siya sa loob. So, that would be 2x times x plus 2 times 2x. So, ayan po, yung 2x, minultiply natin sa x, ito yon. Yung 2x, minultiply natin sa 2, ito yon. Now, what will be the result? So, in multiplying, so, tandaan natin, so, since wala naman siyang kasama dito, you just multiply the numerical coefficient, 2, and then in this case, walang nakalagay, so, automatic, meron siyang 1 dito sa unahan. Hindi siya kita, wait lang. So, meron niyang 1 sa unahan. So, that would be 2 times 1. Ang sagot natin dyan is 2. And then, applying the product rule, which is x times x, tandaan natin yung ginawa natin kanina sa unang law of exponent, x times x is the same as x raised to 1 plus 1. So, kanina, di ba, pag walang nakalagay, may 1. And then, sa product rule, kapag pareha sila ng base, you're going to add its exponent. So, same naman dito sa kabila, 2 times 2 is 4. Then, wala namang x dito sa kabila, so copyhin na lang natin yung x. And in this case, ang ating final answer ay 2x squared plus 4x. That is how you multiply. Apply the law of exponents. Another one is, let's say, for example, we have a squared times a squared b minus ab squared. So, ayan. So, again, distributing the given factors, yung nasa labas natin, i-distribute natin dun sa nasa loob. So, that will be a squared b times a squared minus ab squared times a squared. So, dinistribute na natin. Ito yung a times ab, ito yon. Yung a times negative ab squared, ito yon. Then, applying the law of exponents. So, parehas siyang a. Yung i-multiply natin is parehas a. So, what will happen is you add the exponent. 2 plus 2 is a to the 4th power. And then, yung b naman is wala naman siyang katulad dun sa factor. So, copyhin na lang natin siya. Minus, so a natin dito is a, then a squared. So, automatic may 1 na exponent. So, what will happen is magiging a cubed, kasi 1 plus 2, then b squared. So, again, you can only apply the law of exponent sa product rule kapag siya ay same bases. Okay, so that is how you apply the rule on exponent, some rule of exponents in multiplying polynomials. And the next one is division of polynomials. So, sa division of polynomials naman, most probably, ang pinaka-applicable dito is the quotient law. So, what is the quotient law? Kanina, yung sa quotient law natin is you divide or you subtract the exponent. So, ano po yung example nun? Let's say, for example, we have x to the 4th power plus x cubed plus x squared divided by x. So, what will happen? So, in this case, pwede natin siyang paghiwa-hiwalayin. So, yung x natin is x to the 4th power over x. Kasi, we can expand this given as fractions. Ano po? Since x yung kanyang denominator, pwede natin siyang paghiwa-hiwalayin. So, x plus x cubed over x plus x squared over x. So, since pare-pareha siyang x, pag isinulat natin siya as 1, ganito rin yung magiging itsura niya. So, ganito rin po yung magiging itsura niya pag sinulat natin to as 1. Now, applying the quotient law of exponent, remember, isa-subtract natin yung kanilang mga exponents. So, in this case, sa baba natin is walang nakalagay, so automatic may 1. Now, what will happen is magiging x raised to 4 minus 1 plus x raised to 3 minus 1 plus x raised to 2 minus 1. So, simplifying, we have x to the cube or x to the 3rd power plus x squared plus x. Kasi 2 minus 1 is x raised to 1. So, hindi na natin ilalagay yung 1. And that is one of the application of the laws of exponent, especially the quotient law. Okay, so another example is, let's say, a squared b minus a cubed b squared divided by a b. So, ayan. So, same procedure, pwede natin siyang i-expand. We can rewrite this as a squared b over ab minus a cubed b squared over ab. Okay? Then, applying the law of exponents. So, since pare-pareho sila, ab, so pwede natin siyang gamitin. So, a squared minus 1 kasi may 1 dito sa baba dahil siya ay walang nakalagay na exponent. And then, b raised to 1 minus 1 minus a raised to 3 minus 1, then b raised to 2 minus 1. Then, simplifying, we have a, 2 minus 1 is 1, so hindi na natin siya ilalagay. And then, we have b, 1 minus 1 is 0, so raised to 0. And then, minus a raised to 2, 3 minus 1 is 2, and then b, 2 minus 1 is 1, so hindi na natin siya ilalagay. So in this case, meron pa tayo ditong b raised to 0. Remember the law of exponents, sa 0 exponent, any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. So magiging 1 na tong b raised to 0. And 1 times a is a minus a squared b. So mawawala na yung b raised to 0 kasi siya ay equivalent sa 1. And that is how you can apply the laws of exponent in dividing polynomials. And that would be all for this video. Thank you so much.